Hey everyone, the Talking Dads podcast is brought to you by Little Scholars Early Learning Center. Whether your family needs infant care, a preschool program, or before and after school care, Little Scholars' highly rated Step Up to Quality programs provide quality early childhood education at an affordable price. Visit www.littlescholars.net to get in contact with an enrollment specialist and schedule a tour of any of their 5 Lake County campuses. Here's the deal. Talking Dads fans are getting a little bonus. Mention that you heard about them through our podcast, and when you tour, and you'll receive $25 off of your registration fee. Again, that's Little Scholars Early Learning Center, where children learn, play, and grow together. We are also brought to you by Pub Fredo Gastropub. Pub Fredo was voted Best Gastropub in Cleveland in 2019 by Cleveland Magazine Silver Spoon Awards. We love Pub Fredo. Their menu is chef-inspired, always pushing the limits of traditional pub fare. The other night I had a burger, I believe it was called the Pub Burger. It was incredible. Cooked perfectly. It was amazing. And you won't have a problem pairing your favorite item on the menu with their great selection of local craft beers, crafted cocktails, and of course, an amazing bourbon and whiskey selection. I went with the Bullet 10-year with my Pub Burger. All of this in a cozy, fun, come-as-you-are atmosphere. You can check them out at pubfredo.com and on Facebook and Instagram at PubFredo Gastropub. What's up, podcast? Thanks for tuning in. This week, me and Steve just get together and we do kind of a quick update. We talk about coronavirus and, what we're doing with our kids and all that kind of stuff. We touch on missing sports. And then we also talked about our Zoom drinks that we had with the Cleveland Bourbon Co-op. It's cool, very informational, had a ton of fun. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Enjoy and stay safe.
In a world where moms continue to dominate parenting authority and a father's role is minimized in society, two dads take on the toughest parenting topics on a weekly basis, all while drinking bourbon. They are the Talking Dads.
So, how's it going?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Good. Honestly, I'm actually pretty good. I'm closing in on finishing all of the daycare remodeling projects that we've had going on. So I'm definitely sore, tired, feeling pretty old.
Life of the trades, man.
Yeah, right. But the light at the end of the tunnel is getting closer, and as you know, we opened up our pandemics, or 2 of our pandemic centers this week. So I guess it's starting to get closer to that kind of normalcy. I don't want to call it normal, but
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to call normal anymore.
right. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I think that, I don't know if you feel the same way, but I feel like society, or just like the community, is getting, I don't know if you want to call it more risky, or if you want to call it more tolerant of social interactions. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I think when saying that, I think a lot of places are taking a lot more precaution. And I mean, there are a lot of people still that are really just sick of being cooped up. So they're just going out and saying, fuck it. Like, I'm just going to go do whatever. I'm not going to wear a mask and I'm not going to deal with any of this stuff. But as far as like stores go and places like that, I mean, I don't know if you've been into like Giant Eagle or Target or anything recently. They have like directions you need to go. Like, you can't go against traffic. And so that's good. I mean, I feel like that's going to be the norm for a while.
Sure. I mean, I think that's the thing, is I think that people are realizing that, like, there's things that we can do to minimize our risk with still being able to let us do what we need to do, right? Like, restaurants are starting to open back, not restaurants, but like more restaurants are doing takeout now. Like, they've either, like, a lot of them I feel like did what I did, is just closed down and then did some remodeling.
Yeah, I see that everywhere. It's funny you said that. So Wits End?
Yeah.
So we drove to the cemetery yesterday over off of Lakeshore to go to Liz's grandma's um,
Yeah.
gravesite, and it was her birthday, so we went to go drop off flowers and stuff. But that Wits End has like a brand new front, like an
Oh,
entrance and
really?
everything. It's like really nice.
Hmm.
I'm like, man, putting some money into it. So that being like, so you have that, and then you have the other side of things. Like, did you see Bahama Breeze
Yeah.
close?
Yeah.
I wonder if that's because of this or because it's just been a long time coming.
Probably a combination of both, right?
That's what
Like,
I'm thinking.
um, look, you know, I've kind of focused on the childcare world, but I think businesses in general, like if you were like not having the best time leading up to this, this would have been crippling, you know.
Oh
And
yeah,
I don't remember last time. I don't know that I think I've been in that Bahama Breeze once.
we were. Yeah, the only time I know of is before Joey and Jacqueline's
Yeah,
wedding.
that's what I was thinking of. Yeah. Now granted, it's not like super close to us, but at the same time, like,
Never
it,
really, but never been interested in going to that place.
you know, I think it's just a life cycle. But yeah, I mean, I think closing down for this long really cripples. I mean, you know, like again, I kind of focus on childcare. So like what we're trying to do right now is put a plan together to basically remarket ourselves, right?
Yeah,
Because 2 months is a long time to not be with your customers. I mean, we've been doing as much as we can on like, you know, social media and emails and just kind of keeping everyone in the loop. But the bottom line is you give people time to think and choose and everything else. And, you know, especially in the restaurant world, you know, people aren't going to go out like they used to, at least not right
no,
away.
it's
Even if they
not
get
right away. And I don't. I think like we talked about this before too. Like there are going to be the people who are going to run into it. Like I'm sick of this. I need to go out,
right,
right? And then there's going to be the people that are a little timid and a little more on the fence about going out and going into restaurants or bars and things like that,
right,
which is going to be it's going to be interesting to see how that goes,
right,
especially for the restaurants. And I feel like they'll probably have the capacity of the bars or restaurants will probably be a lot less. They'll probably be splitting up like tables in between. They'll probably spread things out a lot more.
yeah.
So
So
it's going
that's
to be
what I was
interesting.
kind of looking at is like all the businesses that are still, you know, closed. Um, I kind of came up with this thing and, you know, not that I came up with it, but I realized it is that
If you came up with it,
so everything that's still mandated to be closed has some sort of licensure process with the state. So I'm not positive how restaurants work. If I think that's more just like a local thing, but and the same thing with gyms. I'm not quite positive, but like tattoo shops, barber shops, salons, childcare, like those are all state licensure things.
mm-hmm.
And so it kind of makes sense that we're the only ones right now that they can really sink teeth into. And by no means am I saying it's like a government conspiracy or whatever. I guess what I'm saying is that those are the ones they have control over. So I have a feeling that right now the holdup is that they're working with those licensure boards to say, okay, what is the new normal? And like
Mm-hmm.
changing everything. And so that way, when they say, yes, you can open up, it's going to be under a totally different set of rules and we're all going to have to figure it out,
True.
which is
That's what's going to be
terrifying.
interesting. Well, it's
Like,
crazy because think about like a barber shop or like a salon, like you said. They're going to have to probably wear some PPE of some sort, right? Like a smock or something like that. They're going to have to take off per customer, right? So their client that comes in. So then these places are going to need to. That's going to be an expense for them because you're
sure.
going to have shit that you're going to be throwing away or just throwing into a bin that you're going to have to wash or you're going to have to buy
I,
more of. I mean, it's going to be
I
it's going to
hope
be
that's what
interesting.
they make us do. I mean,
I
I'm
can
worried,
imagine for a daycare how like or school or for schools what
schools
they're
and
going to do.
daycare. What I'm worried about is that, like you said, with restaurants, like half capacity or whatever, they try and do that with childcare, and it's that's
That's
crippling.
that's oh, absolutely.
Like there's not a big markup to begin with, and if you start taking away, you know, like right now, so for instance, so at our the school that Gibbs and Sam and Ben and Sloan go to,
Mm-hmm.
our normal capacity there, we could have 140 kids there. Under
Damn.
under our pandemic license, we can have 42.
Wow.
So Like, I'm
I
here to
wonder,
tell you that that is not profitable. Like, even if it's
no,
completely full, like
that's crazy though. Cause like for
terrifying.
a daycare, they got to figure that out quick because you're going to need them. Right. And then like for schools, they have time for schools to kind of figure out what they're going to
Well,
do.
they're lucky that like summer break is coming up, and so
Yeah.
people.
So that's what they have more time to plan.
Like with us though, like we'd normally take a bunch of those kids, like for summer.
Exactly. So then and then you have half the people coming in or less than that. Then it's like, well, then these people are going to be scrambling to find childcare.
Yeah.
That's what's insane.
Yeah.
That's going to be bad for everybody if that's the case. So I
Be,
think that
I don't know, and I can only hope and pray that like somebody that's familiar with the industry is actually involved in writing these, and again, maybe they're not doing that. Maybe they really just aren't ready. And when they do open, it's going to be normal. I just don't see it.
I know that's what's crazy.
No.
You just trust that the smartest people are in the room and that they're going to figure it out and just hopefully it's for the best for everyone. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like at this point you've flattened the curve, but it's going to be interesting to see when you throw everybody back into society again. Now, what gets tough is if you think about for people in general, but kids, like you're constantly building your immune system every single day. Kids are putting stuff in their mouths or around people, and then you keep them in a bubble for 2 months or longer, and then you're going to send them back out. There's going to be these hospitals will be filled with people with other illnesses and other problems.
well, I'm really
that's what's going to be crazy.
I'm really,
yeah,
like you said, these kids especially are building their immune systems. I mean, what happens even after, like we see it all the time, like Christmas time, a lot of people take off for like that week or 2 weeks between Christmas and New Year's, like depending on how it falls. Sometimes kids are off for 2 weeks,
yeah. You
and
see a lot more.
we see a lot of kids get sick when they come back because they're just not used to, they're staying at home, especially in the cold months where you're really kind of staying inside most of the time. So you're kind of staying at home like we have been now. And everyone's constantly wiping stuff down and washing your hands even more, which is all good things. Don't get me wrong.
For sure, but we're weakening our own immune systems at the same. Like all of us are. Every single person is.
So what's going to happen now that like what I'm scared of is, okay, we all come back, and then all of a sudden I'm going to have parents that are like, well, what the hell? Are you guys not cleaning because my kid's sick? And it's just like,
yes. Everybody's got to think realistically here. No matter what, every kid is coming from a different home who is doing different things. So you can't stop everything. You're not going to sit there and sanitize every child that, I mean, you guys are going to keep as much clean as you can, but
yeah, I mean, we always do. And even so, like right now, my centers have never been more clean. Like it's insane how great they smell and look and everything else. But like,
let's put it this way. You at your house is hard enough to keep clean with 2 kids in there, right? Put 140 kids in a building. Try to keep that clean.
We do what we can and we sanitize everything, but like
that's everywhere though, man. That's not realistic. It's just not. I have possible to be perfect.
Right. I have 2 different cleaning crews that come in now. So I have somebody that comes in every single morning before we open, and then I also have deep cleaning crew that comes in on the weekends. So like this is already like we've always done that, but we've added a lot of things that we're asking them to do now. So like my cleaning bill now is like insane. So like
you're adding more expense.
Yeah, right.
And not to mention that you're remodeling everything too. So you're putting money in like crazy.
Yeah.
But hopefully there will be a return on that when things get back to normal. I see that eventually. It's just when is that going to be? That's the question. That's the unknown.
Right. Our big goal is to prepare ourselves and put ourselves in a position that when we do come out of this thing, we can be ready to, accept new families and welcome back our old families and kind of run with it,
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's crazy, man. It's just hard to think. And I worry about the kids obviously, but with Ben, like I think of how long it took him to get his immune system to be strong. Because obviously he was slow to begin with because of 2 months he's in the hospital. And then we keep him at home for as long as we can. And then we send him to daycare. And the kid was sick all the time.
Sure.
And then he's strong. Like he hasn't been sick in forever. Like the kid has been a rock. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, he worked so hard to get there, and now it's like starting over again. So that's what's scary, man. I just
It is.
it is what it is. I mean, everybody's gonna be dealing with the same thing. So
It'll be interesting to look back on this, in a couple years and say, like, see where we're at, like, what have we changed? I mean, personally and professionally and like as a community, as a society, like what is the new normal?
mm-hmm.
I think that's what like I've kind of been reflecting on recently is like, you know, whether it doesn't really matter what you want to believe, whether you believe it's a hoax or you believe that it's super crazy and we've just been doing a good job. It doesn't really matter. What matters is going to be what is going to be our new normal. So like you said, is there always going to be, lanes that tell you which way to go in the grocery store? Like little things like that are going to, sometimes for the better and probably sometimes for the worse because we just haven't had to deal with this. It'll
It's
be
never happened before. Like where you've had to deal with this.
But
yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. I know that at work for me, we are staying the way we are for at least another week, and then I think we're going to try to go back to normal.
Right.
It's not set in stone, but like they're trying to work us back in the way, like to the complete normal schedule and everything like that, which will be for me is going to be crazy. It's just going to be weird, man. Going from
now, you still rotate shifts?
Yeah, so I still go in at I go in at 12:30 and I'll stay there till 5:30 or so.
No, I mean like once you guys go back, because didn't you used to do like 2 weeks?
Oh, as far as like going in early some days,
Yeah.
So we'll go back to doing that again.
Yeah, I guess that's not like a big change.
No, the tough part for me is I've been going in at 12:30 every day. So, I mean, I
know.
Night.
Listen, I've got some of the best people I could ever ask for that work for me, and a lot of them are just not too thrilled about having to come back into work. Like,
no, because it's weird. I mean, like I think
kids, and they're all, kind of excited to see how the centers look and everything like that. But at the same time, they're like, yeah, but it's been pretty nice getting paid at home and like
not having to deal with anything, just kind of just chilling and doing what you want.
Right.
To an extent. I mean, even though we're able to have all this time, still not really able to go anywhere. I mean, I can't take the kids anywhere.
Well, and I think that's the big kicker right there, right? Like, so going back to work and getting back into the swing of things also means that we're that much closer to being able to go get a drink at night or going to the movies or, like all that stuff will eventually come back in some form or another.
Yeah.
It might not be exactly like it used to be, but we'll have a chance to socialize again and do things, go shopping, whatever. So I think, getting back at work is at least a step in that direction.
True. Yeah, it'll be crazy to see department stores and things like that, like the mall.
Yeah.
I mean, think about these places that just opened. Like that where Round One is.
Yeah.
They built that
that bar?
Brew Kettle or something like that.
Brew Kettle. Yeah.
They just built that, and I don't even know if they ever got to open. I mean, that was.
I don't think they did.
I drove by there the other night, and it looks really nice. And I'm like, damn, I wonder how that's going. I mean.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's insane, but we'll figure it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how are your kids doing, man?
Stir crazy.
Yeah.
So the other night, I decided, I'm like, you know what, I was at work, I told Liz, I'm like, I'm going to go. When I get home, I'm going to grab Sam. We'll have dinner, and I'm going to take Sam. It'll just be the two of us. I'm going to go take him to get ice cream, and then we're going to go to the park and just go walk. So I took him, and we went to Dairy Queen. We went to Chagrin River Park or whatever it is in Willoughby off Reeves. And, it was like maybe 50 degrees out. It was nice. The sun was out. It was beautiful. So we just walked around, and he had a blast, man. He was so happy the whole time. I'm telling you, he talked more than I've heard him talk in a long time. He's just like, he's having full conversations with me, and like we're just walking along the river throwing rocks. And funny story, we're down by the river, and he goes, I gotta pee. And I'm like, I look around and there's people across the river from us just standing there. There's people on the paths. I'm like, I don't even know where to go. I'm like, all right, come over here. So I point him up against like this dock thing, and he's like about to pee. And then all of a sudden this guy pops up like right in front of us with his daughter and his dog. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm rushing him over to the side, and he's like, I'm peeing. And I'm like, so he started peeing in his pants. And I'm like, oh, buddy. And Sam, I'm like, I thought he was going to freak out. Like, we have to leave. I thought he was going to have a tough time with it. But he's like, it's no big deal.
Good.
He's like, it's just pee. I'm like, yeah, there you go.
There you go.
So,
that's awesome.
So he just stripped down. He took his underwear off, and he's like, I'm like, just wear your sweatpants. You'll be fine. So, anyway, later I'm like, well, maybe you want to go play in the water, because he's wearing gray sweatpants, and there's a pee spot on his pants. I'm like, oh God. So I'm like, let's go down by the water, but it's like 50 degrees and it's pretty cold.
Yeah.
He just jumps right in the water, like knees deep, and just starts splashing around in the water. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, all right, buddy, we have to get out of here. He's like, it feels good. I'm like, it's freezing. Let's go. But
don't care, man.
What's that?
I said kids don't care if it's cold.
No, he doesn't mind, man. But all that being said, man, he had a blast though. It was so cool. Like he just to have his own time.
Yeah.
But on top of that, though, I'm thinking, these kids are all stir crazy. They want to get out. They're all bored. Imagine being an only child.
Oh, yeah.
Like, these kids have not been around any of their friends.
Yeah.
You hear all these stories all over the place on the internet, like, of these kids having all these issues. And, like, I mean, you're taking kids out of their norm, like, of being at school, being around people, being social with other people, with other kids.
Yeah.
Being able to run around, like, recess or gym class or whatever, and now they're just stuck at home.
I mean, that's the thing that we focus on at the daycare, is social and emotional health. Like that social piece of it is just so incredibly impactful for once they go to school and everything else. Like, these kids need to be socializing.
For sure. And I mean, like, I was telling Liz the other day, I'm like, Ben needs, well, both of them need to.
Yeah.
Need to go back to school. Like, Ben needs some type of structure other than us telling him what to do. He needs other people.
Like adults. Like, adults are going crazy and like not following rules because we can't not socialize, right? And we, I don't want to say we understand it, but we at least know what the hell's going on.
Yeah. These kids, like, they're like,
these kids don't have a clue. They're just like Gibbs said to me the other day, he goes, Dad, I really like our house, but could we maybe go somewhere different?
True though, man. They're just stuck. Like,
getting there,
Well, we've been a little more laid back about things. Like I think it was Saturday, we went to my mom's house, let them play over there for a few hours, and then the next day we went to Liz's parents' house. We just hung out in the backyard, had a cookout. So slowly we're starting to work back into all that. But yeah, I mean, like at some point, like sometimes we're like, let's go for a ride, let's go here. Sam will sometimes be like, no, I just want to stay home. I'm like, damn it, you need to get out of here. We need to leave. And I worry that, like, when we have to go back to school, I told Liz, I'm like, good luck at that first day dropping them off.
You know what though? So here's the interesting thing. So this week, because I was worried about how this week was going to go with pandemic centers. And so, like, right now we're not allowed to let parents into the building. Mm-hmm. So like we put like little markers outside where you stand in the box, and once it's your turn, you get up to the door and you drop your kid off at the door. It has gone so incredibly smooth. Like, kids just want to like run in the center, so it's interesting because, like, a lot of times before, I mean, you guys have seen it happen. It's happened to you, I'm sure, is, tantrums coming into the center and just like, especially in the morning, not quite woken up yet. And they just want to hold on to you before you drop them off. Yeah. They don't have that opportunity right now. And so
that's true. So you kind of just force them into it.
We were like discussing it, like me and some of the teachers, and I'm just like, actually not terrible. Like that it's a clear barrier, and the kids, like, because always, even if there's like a mildly dramatic drop off, like as soon as mom or dad is gone, like they're fine. Like almost every single time, like they're just immediately fine. They're like, oh, cool, I'm at school.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for.
Now that it's just like at the door right now, it's just okay, cool.
Yeah. Well, I hope that's the way it goes, man. I hope it's just like, all right, see ya. Like, I hope they're excited. Like the other day, I think I texted you. we drove by the school and Sam's like, "There's my school." I'm like, and we're like, "You want to go back?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "You miss your friends, your teachers?" And he's like, "Yeah, yeah." So I'm like, hoping that when it's time for that, he'll be just ready to go in.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Whoa, what are you drinking there?
So I'm drinking a little Michter's.
Okay.
Haven't had it in a while.
I do like Michter's.
Yeah, Michter's is great. You know, normally, well, when things were normal, we used to go over to Hook and Hoof all the time, and they've always got, the toasted barrel, or they've got like M10, or we even got to have the 20-year one time.
Oh God, that was unbelievable.
Oh, it was so good. But just good old Michter's bourbon I haven't had in a while, so I'll give it a shot. What about you? Taylor?
Go with the Taylor.
There you go. Nice.
They just this got to be one of my favorites.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It really is.
They just announced that the 2020 special edition is an 18-year-old E.H. Taylor, and it's like they're calling it like the marriage or something like that, or 18-year-old marriage.
Okay.
And it's like a blend of some rye whiskey and like 18-year-old bourbon. So
you get your
I mean,
hands
we'll
on
probably
that?
never get our hands on it. But
I was gonna say, you think you get your hands on that?
No, the last couple that have been the yearly special release I haven't seen. So, but
Yeah,
I might be able to find about it, like a bar or something like that, and give it a shot.
Hook and Hoof.
Yeah,
I'm
excited. So they're finally opening up to do to go orders, and I think that the lockers are going into effect. So
That's
locker.
what it sounds like. That's what
Oh yeah,
Dan.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's something to talk about. Like over the weekend, we did a Zoom call with the Cleveland Bourbon Co-op. What'd you think?
I mean, you want to talk about some people that know their shit?
Oh my God, it's like,
man, those guys took us to school, man. That was all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're saying stuff that I no clue. I'm like, never knew that, never heard of that. I mean, they were pretty awesome, man. It was something.
They
take it. It's very serious with those guys.
Yeah. Well, they're definitely super well informed, super educated in the bourbon world. And like, I mean, it's just like anything else. If you really, really enjoy something, you can certainly nerd out on it and really know the ins and outs. For as much as I love it and everything else, I can't hold a conversation with those guys. Like, it's amazing.
I was just sitting back and taking it in. I'm like, and they just go down the line, all of them, just something. But do they do that weekly? Their calls like that, or is that?
Yeah, they do a couple different things per week. Like I think tonight actually was their virtual cocktail hour, and they have like a bartender come on and like show them how to make a certain drink or whatever.
That's awesome.
But then, I think every Friday or Saturday they all get together. Well, since all of this happened. But they do a lot of events throughout the year, and it's a good group,
Yeah, for sure. That was cool. It was definitely awesome to talk to those guys. I know me and you, when we talked about it originally, we're like, oh, it'll probably be like 45 minutes or so.
Yeah.
3 hours.
3 hours, yeah.
But, man, and just I was thinking about it too, because one guy was out on his patio or whatever talking about his new lights or whatever, and I'm like, I've been working on the yard so much. Like, I can't wait. I just want to have a party over here. I just want to have.
My yard looks amazing.
Yeah.
So number one, we've had time. Number two, it's that perfect time of the season where we're still getting a lot of rain and everything, and just the grass is wonderful.
Oh, it looks beautiful right now.
Like late July, August, it's all going to be burnt out and dry.
Yep.
You can't possibly water it enough, but right now it looks amazing. Like,
I'll tell you what, man, the last couple of years, my lawn has stayed pretty full and nice, because I think we've had like mild summers. Like
we have. That's true.
Like last year, I think June, it rained the entire month and it was like 70 degrees.
When did we get that, that big, wasn't that last year that we got the big like water bounce house thing?
Yeah.
So I remember it definitely got dry right around then, because I remember when I took that thing down, I had this like green spot all around where that was, because we
Oh
kept
yeah, because that thing was running for hours, and then the kids are jumping in it, and it was just water. I remember like the entire yard around it was like
yeah,
just like a puddle.
puddle, yeah. And so,
And
but
it
like
was so dry, so it was
my
like
yard
standing.
was dry.
That's true though. I get like towards the end of the summer, like August, it's like everything just dries out, man. And I'm not the type of person. I don't have a sprinkler system, and I don't water my grass. So
I did a couple times. It seems like I do when it first starts getting dry. I get like pissed off about it, and I'll go run out there with all my sprinklers and everything, and I set up, 4 different hoses. I got like this splitter on my back spigot. It's got 4 hoses, and like when we first put the lawn in, I had to buy all these. So I have like 600 feet of hose. Like it's ridiculous, and it's more of a pain in the ass than anything of just to store it and everything.
it's the worst, man.
So yeah, when it first starts happening, I'll go run out there and try and get everything watered, and I'm going out there every half hour and switching positions and everything. But
I think the problem is, Ian, is we haven't gotten to our dad mode yet, to like where we're not. Maybe it's just we're not at that age yet where that's the most important thing. Maybe it's because we don't have the time. But like to sit there and like water the lawn and just sit there and just admire it for like an hour and just
I totally
stare at
get
your work.
I mean, if I had the time, I would totally do it.
I mean, like, yeah, I've had time to work in the yard, but at the same time, I haven't, because
Right.
it's almost like my escape. And
Yeah.
to go work on the yard, and then I feel bad because I'm like, hey, Liz, I'm gonna go mow the lawn and then go do yard work for 3 hours.
Yeah, right. So every year in my neighborhood, they all get together, and it's like for snow plowing, like they'll pick which company, and everyone gets a discount because the whole neighborhood will do it. And so
Good idea.
they always do it with lawn mowing. And I never participate because I'm like, no, that's my escape. Like I can go for like an hour and a half and go cut the grass and weed whack and edge and all that other kind of stuff. The problem is that now, for some reason, Gibbs was never interested. Sloan wants to ride with me on, because I have that riding
Oh,
mower.
you're the rider, yeah.
So she wants to ride with me every single time. And so it's fine, it's cute, whatever. But now Gibbs is interested too. So now when I mow the grass, I have both kids on me, and they'll stay like almost the whole time. Or like they'll get off and go play while I'm doing the back. They'll play,
Yeah.
jump on when they go to the front. And it's not that big of a deal, but it's just funny. Like, guys, this was my time.
I know. Well, so I told Liz last time I was doing the yard work, I'm like, hey, just try to distract them. Maybe go down in the basement and try to do something. I'm going to sneak out and go do the lawn. Well, these guys could hear the lawnmower from a mile away.
Yeah.
And the moment they do, both of them run out to the garage. They both grab their little lawnmowers, and they're next to me. They have a little weed whacker.
Yeah.
Like Sam has his protective goggles and his muffs. He puts those on. They have the backpack blower. Like they just follow me around. But when I'm trying to do edging and anything with the weed whacker, I'm like, I don't want them near me.
Right.
So I'm like they want to be right next to me. I'm like, go work on that over there. I mean, it's just like you said, like that's usually my time. Not
And
anymore.
it's
I can't.
cool. It's fun.
It is fun. It's
You
cute.
want your
But
kids to be interested in what you're doing and stay involved and everything. But at the same time, you're kind of just like, man, like I used to love, like I'd throw my headphones on and listen to a podcast or just listen to music and just go,
yep, not anymore.
Now like Gibbs is sitting there and like we're just kind of going. Gibbs like crushes the wheel. I'm like, no, my lines.
Well, that's what I always tell them too, because they'll be pushing their little lawnmowers next to me. I'm like, stay in my line, and they're going against the grain. I'm like, no, I'm like, just my lines. But it's funny though, man. Like Liz always makes fun of me because my conversations with my neighbors, the other guys around here, we just sit there like we'll be doing yard work at the same time, and we'll congregate over like on the sidewalk where I was sitting there talking, like just admiring each other's yard work.
Oh yeah.
Liz,
like
Liz like, oh, cool, yeah, just typical dads out there.
Yeah, you're finishing up your lawn while your neighbor gets home from work, and they're like, "Oh, you didn't do mine yet."
Yeah, exactly. Lawn's looking pretty good. When you're done, maybe come over and do mine.
So typical.
The guy across the street, Liz sent me a picture of the one day he's mowing the lawn. I'm at work. I'm like, now I got to get home and mow the lawn.
Exactly. You don't want to be that guy.
No, I can't have the shitty looking lawn. I got to keep the thing looking good. But yeah, man. Now it's grilling season. I was trying to get the propane tanks the other day. That was insane. I tried to go to Lowe's.
Yeah.
I ended up going to I called like 4 different places. All of them are out.
Really?
I found a Circle K down off Vine Street was where I finally found one.
Okay.
So I got 2 actually.
Yeah. Yeah. So I hate to admit this. So I've grilled a couple times when we've had randomly really decent weather or whatever. But Monday, I had some steaks. And I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to grill some steaks, you know? And I went out there. Man, I'm rusty.
Yeah. Oh, trust me. I grilled for the first time. I'll admit it. I have not grilled out
twice. And like, I like my steak pretty rare. And I had to put them back on twice because like they were not even close.
I can't figure it. I haven't gotten it yet, man. I ended up grilling at Liz's parents' house. I ended up grilling hamburgers and hot dogs.
Yeah.
And usually I'm like, boom, boom, boom. Like, you know what I mean? Like, dude, I could not figure out what the hell was going on. The burgers, I mean, they were all fine, but I'm rusty. I'm rusty.
Yeah. We're rusty, man. We'll get back to it.
Man, it's mid-June. Shit.
Oh, mid-June. God, that's coming up mid-June. I haven't golfed at all.
It's funny you said that. I drove past Lost Nation yesterday, and I told Liz, I'm like, I really want to go. She's like, just go. Let's go.
I'll go walk.
You can take carts.
Oh, can you take carts now?
I think they make you take 2, or I think they split you up. I can't remember. There's different rules.
I would love to golf. I would even go to a driving range.
Can you go tomorrow?
All right.
You're working.
Out.
You're working.
I am working, but I may figure it out. Maybe afternoon. Oh, It'd
have to be at 5:30. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk.
I'm telling you, man, I got my new golf bag. Liz bought me a golf bag for Christmas. I'm going to get some new shoes. I'm ready to go, man. I just want to go. It's going to be ugly, but.
Oh, of course.
When's it pretty?
No, never. Well, I shouldn't say never. You get your occasional strokes.
Yeah, you're right. Mid-June.
Oh, man, yeah. I know. I wonder, like I love golf outing season, like middle to end of summer when, we
got all the outings.
We're done trying to be good and now we just have fun.
Yeah.
Because it seems like in like April, May, like, oh, I'm gonna break, 90, whatever. And it's just like, no, you're not. No. Like now you could just have fun and play scrambles and have some drinks and have a great time.
That's what I'm wondering is how that's going to go.
I don't know.
We usually at the end of the year or the end of the summer, we usually have like at least four outings that we go to.
Yeah. There's always that like weird stretch in like September where we have like 3 outings in 4 weeks. And it's
not, I mean, the one weekend we have like 2, I think.
Yeah.
So we'll see, man. It's going to be interesting. I just miss those days of going to, before kids and everything, we used to go to St. Dennis, and then we'd go get wings and beer and pizza at the Maple Tap.
Yeah. Oh, so good. I would. Oh, we had wings tonight actually. So we had just one more.
Ooh. I haven't had good wings in a while.
One day. Ordering out from just one more. Call ahead.
Yeah, I'll do it.
So good.
As well, man. I've got pizza tonight. Got Jets. So there's another thing. Speaking of like wings and beer and stuff, they're talking about the MLB starting spring training in June.
Dude, I'm ready.
There you go.
I am ready for baseball, bro.
I know, man. I think they've been airing the Korean baseball league.
Oh yeah. Well, they had the 22 game win streak from 2016 or 17, whatever year that was. I think it was 16, wasn't it? No, it was 17.
I think it was 17.
Whatever.
Because I know we were at one of the games.
I was at the first and the last game that they won.
Okay.
I think.
And I remember we won. I think when we hit 21 or something like that, we were all there.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. And then they went on the road.
They won
They
22.
won one more, and then I think, I don't know.
I can't
Whatever.
remember, but yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That was fun. No, those were good days.
Dude, I'm ready for baseball. I'm ready to even if we can't go to the games, I am ready to be able to sit down like with a glass of bourbon and watch baseball. Like, I know that sounds weird. A lot of people don't. I know you do, but like a lot of people don't like to watch baseball for whatever reason. I love watching baseball, especially.
I would like to just have it in the background, even if I'm doing something, just to have it in the background. I love doing that.
Yeah.
One of the things I remember most is like the summer, like the middle of the summer, being like hanging out with my dad or doing whatever, playing catch or working in the yard or something, and the radio was on.
Yep.
And the Indians were in the background. You're hammy in the background. Just
Yep. Well, that's what I was
that
gonna say. Like a lot of times in the summertime, especially when Gibbs is playing baseball and everything else, is we'll put a TV out on the deck and we'll have the game on, and then me and him will just be playing catch, or I'll be pitching to him or whatever, and then like Frankie will come up and Gibbs will get all excited, so we'll run up on the deck and we'll watch that,
yes,
you know, or something great happened, and we'll run back up there and watch the replay. But it's just like on, and just time that I spend with him, because he loves baseball so much.
yeah,
Oh,
I can't wait for that, man. It's you just feel like a void. It's just that time of year right now.
yeah. I
There's
mean,
just
don't get me wrong.
nothing to
I'm
watch.
dying to go to a game, but just to have it there so that we can watch it, listen to
Yeah.
it, whatever. Oh,
Uh,
and then
any sports,
yeah.
any
Well,
sport
the
would be
Browns
nice.
tomorrow. The Browns are all the NFL teams are announcing the schedules tomorrow.
Yeah,
They're planning on playing normal,
yeah. I
but
mean, but
I was gonna say, looks like they're all doing um, like interconference games first for the first 4 weeks.
okay.
So I think that's like in preparation. So there's going to be no conference games, and definitely obviously then no division games the first 4 weeks, which leads me to believe that which is kind of a smart plan. So that way, if they do have to cancel any of the season, it's games that don't really matter towards your rankings or your
That's
standing.
smart. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what all the leagues do. Like right now, the NBA should be in the middle of the playoffs right now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, obviously when the Cavs suck, it's not as exciting. But I mean, it would be awesome to watch playoff basketball right now.
Yeah, because the draft should be coming up soon too, isn't it? Or would it
In
already?
June.
Or June?
June.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause it's usually like right before the finals, isn't it?
So they do the lottery,
lottery.
I think, right before the finals,
Yeah, yeah.
and then
Like
after,
right after the finals is when the draft is.
yeah,
Right.
that sounds right.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I wonder what they'll do. I wonder what they'll do with the draft. Just take take it for what it is, like what the records are right now. I mean, I think the Cavs are in good shape for like one of the top picks.
Really?
I think,
Yeah.
I think they had like the second to worst record in the league. I think it was them and Golden State.
Behind Golden State.
Yeah, Golden State will be back at 100% next year with the number one pick.
Amazing. Amazing how that works.
Yeah, so it sucks, man. This is like LeBron's year to win with the Lakers.
Yeah.
But I don't even care. Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I definitely miss sports. You know what it is especially now that Gibbs is going to be 5 next month.
I know.
But so his baseball league just sent out an email today that they're delaying the season again until.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that because I haven't even looked at my email because I know Sam's in T-ball this year.
Yeah. So Gibbs his was originally delayed until June 15th. And now it was originally delayed until, I don't know. They pushed it back like another 2 weeks or something like that because we use public school baseball fields.
Okay.
So since they're mandated closed throughout the end of the year, now we can't use those until after the school year's over.
Interesting.
So, I have no idea.
Well, I will say this. A few episodes ago, I had mentioned guess when we were talking to Glenn, driving past the baseball fields down the street from here, and they had like grass growing in the infields and
Oh yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
They're perfectly groomed now.
Are they? Well, that's
Yeah,
good.
Liz went there. Liz took the kids there today to go run around, and I was like, oh, looking good. I mean, everything's all cleaned up. Everything looks nice. So
We should get the kids together just to like hit grounders to them.
I would love to.
Well, not that they'll actually let us do that. In
No,
my
but
head,
I'll
it
just
sounds amazing. In reality, me and you'll be pitching to the kids at the same time, and then going to run after the balls and then going back.
yeah, exactly.
It'll be
Then I'll
amazing.
be like, all right, why don't you guys go sit on the bench and Uncle Ian's gonna pitch me a few balls here, and I'm gonna just try to hit him out.
No. That would be something to do. Is get like, I mean, can't we still technically get together with less than 10 people?
We technically can, and I think it was Saturday when it was like what 70 degrees.
Oh, it was Sunday.
Okay, so
Wasn't it?
my
Oh,
we
whatever.
were, I know we were leaving here, and my street was filled with cars.
Really?
I could just see people getting out of their cars. People are taking firewood to their backyards. Everybody's having a party.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
why
right.
not? I mean, if you're smart, you're not like sitting there on top of each other and just hanging out. I
Yeah,
mean,
don't have like an orgy, but like.
you're not like sitting there making out with each other. Like, just go sit down and have some drinks with some people and just
Right.
hang out. Like, a guy I work with said they went to a house party, and the hosts had they had individual like paper bags for everybody with chips in them and stuff like that, and they just gave everybody their own individual bags, and
Yeah.
everybody brought their own drinks. So I mean, so no one's like dipping into the same stuff, and
Right.
they ordered pizza and just split it up.
I'm in. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
I think it's supposed to be nice this weekend.
Is it?
You guys come over, hang out on the patio.
Yeah.
I want to. So
Too.
I think everybody's dying to do that right now, and you can see it. Like I said, there's parties everywhere. There's parties everywhere this weekend.
Yeah, for sure.
So
we had reinforcements come in, especially with opening up the centers and everything.
Oh yeah.
Actually flew in town, which was pretty insane. She said her flight was packed.
Really?
Yeah. So the middle seats were not used, but every other seat was taken.
Oh, so they split up. So okay, they split up the aisle in the window.
Yeah.
I mean,
she said it was fine. She said security was normal. She's like, I thought it was going to take a while, and it didn't. And then she said it was either going to take like a super long time or it's going to be really quick because no one was there. She said she couldn't believe how packed the airport was, and like people were staying away, and like none of the or like only some of the like food places were open, and some like most of the shops weren't open. But people were just kind of like keeping their own distance. Like I was like, was there like waiting areas marked off? She's like, no, but people weren't sitting on top of each other. And
I mean, excuse me. I think like with the flight, even with the middle seat still being split up, I mean, that's about as far as you can go.
Right.
I mean, you're still 3 feet away from each other.
Now she said that the plane was incredibly clean.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, it's probably the cleanest it's ever been.
Well, and she even said, because my mom flies a lot, and she was like, I never really noticed how dirty planes were. She's like, that they are.
Oh yeah.
It's not like an apparent thing until you see a super clean plane. You're like, oh.
So this is what it's like.
To look like.
Yeah, because I mean, the last time I traveled was right when this whole thing started. Like it had just been said that like there was, COVID-19. It was like in China, and it was just making its way. But there was a few cases in the United States.
You talking
we
about
went to Arizona?
Arizona, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, Tommy, Marco, and I flew together. And when we got there, I went to one of those little shops, and I bought hand sanitizer and disinfectant wipes. So like when we got into our seats, I wiped down all of our seats for us. I wiped down all the table trays and all the seats in front of us. Like we were being cautious, but at the same time, it was like, yeah, it's not really
right.
a problem.
Well, it was still like a gimmick, right? Like
we made jokes about it.
We're having fun, like pictures of masks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This was way before anyone was even saying like you need to have masks.
Yeah. We just did it because we brought our masks and I think we put them on for like the picture and then we
Yeah.
took them off.
Yeah.
Because people, not only that, like we had them on and then people were kind of just staring at us. So I'm like, then you kind of start feeling like self-conscious, like, okay, am I being too much? Like I still feel like that when I go into stores and I put one on.
I know. Well,
And then I feel like if I didn't have one on,
yeah,
then
I
I
think
feel like I'm
worse
being
if you don't have one on, because again, like I think everyone knows at this point that the mask is not to protect yourself,
for everybody else.
for everybody else. And so like I think if people understand that, like it's cool, you know. Like
Yeah. I mean,
I have like a neck gaiter one, and look, I have no idea what does what and what's, you know, like I know that by going up and down all the time, it's probably not good, but it's something. I don't know.
at least here's what I'll say: if you're making the effort,
There was this dude today, actually this morning. So I had to go to Lowe's, and I had to wait in customer service because I had to return something. So I'm waiting in line, and I'm being super patient. Like that place is just slammed. Doesn't matter what time of day, what day of the week, the place is just slammed.
mm-hmm.
So I'm waiting in line very patiently. There's like 4 of us in line, and we're all 6 or 8 feet apart, and all have masks on. And it's right by the entrance. It's the one over by you. And this guy had bought something, and then instead of or no, he wasn't buying something, whatever. He didn't want to wait in line to go to the exit, so he's trying to get out the front. And this like poor little old lady was like, "Sir, you have to exit the exit." And this guy started like throwing a fit. He's just like 50-some-year-old dude. You know, of course he's not wearing a mask. He's just like making this big scene, and like all of us were like, quit being an asshole.
Yeah, just do what you're supposed to do, man.
Believe it or not, if you want to go into society, if you want to go into public, just play by the fucking rules.
It's not
Like
that hard.
no one likes this. No one likes
No.
being inconvenienced. But guess what? If we play by the rules, then more shit gets to open. We can get a little bit back to normal.
Yeah, it's like, what is it going to take you? An extra minute? It's going to take you an extra minute, dude. Just do it. Like, I went to
or ask, hey, I've decided I'm not going to purchase anything. Is there another way to get out rather than waiting in this line?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Instead of just saying, fuck it, I'm just going to go out in the entrance and fuck up their numbers to make sure that they're compliant to say how many people can be in the store.
Yep.
Like,
just go by the rules, man.
No one likes this shit, man. Like,
no,
just do the right thing.
It's like, it's not that hard. Like, I went to Walmart last week, so I think Sam wanted a specific car. Like, he didn't care about cars for over a year now, but all of a sudden Ben's super interested in them. And Sam wanted this car, and I'm like, you know what?
Who are you looking for?
I'll get him a toy. So I saw that Walmart had the cars there.
Which one are you looking for?
He wanted Sarge and Ramon.
Oh, yeah.
He wanted the original crew there. So I'm like, all right. So I went to Walmart, and I'm walking into what I thought was the entrance. It was the one in Mayfield. And I get there, and one of the employees is sitting there. He's got his mask on. He's got his little clicker and stuff. And he goes, "Sorry, sir." He's like, you can't go in this way. I'm like, "Oh, no problem." You know. So I looped back. I had to go down the driveway a little bit and come back into the entrance. And he sees me, and he goes, "I'm really sorry about that." I'm like, "Dude, no big deal. Who cares?" Like, what? Okay, that took 30 seconds of my life. I don't care.
Right. Well, and that's kind of what I was saying. Like so after that dude like made this scene or whatever, and it was like, I don't know if I really explained it well enough. Like he was like yelling and like, "Oh, gotta make me inconvenience me," and it's like
it's all about you, dude.
Singled out, dude. Like everyone's got to do that. Like just because you don't want to follow the rules, you know. But like, so anyway, this guy like ends up doing the right thing and like leaves and goes around the right way. And so like the 3 or 4 of us that were in line, of course, all in masks and everything, we're like, what an asshole. Like nobody loves the situation we're in.
No, but just
it's a
deal with it.
Situation that we're in.
And like, everybody's in it together.
Like if throughout this whole thing that you have not learned a little bit of patience, I don't know what to tell you. Like,
yeah,
you just have to be patient. You know, like I know that's one of the things that we're stressing with the daycare right now is like, look, we're learning these new procedures that we're being mandated to do. We want to be open so that you can bring your child here. We need to follow the rules.
Yeah.
We had this a customer that was fighting us over paperwork. Like, well, you guys already have that paperwork. Like, I understand that we have the similar paperwork, but this one's different. I need to submit this to the state to prove that you are a an essential worker. Please, and I like highlighted it for the third time. I'm like, please fill this out so that we can get you in here. Like, I'm not. Listen, I'm not trying to give you a hard time because I like arguing with you.
Yeah, like this is I'm not making the rules here. Okay,
right? Like,
we all have to follow rules here.
Yeah,
just
it is
deal
what
with it.
Like, oh man.
Yeah.
If you have not learned patience throughout this whole thing, then I'm sorry.
On a positive note of all that,
yes,
there are the people that are going along with everything, and people are being super. I've noticed just being a lot more polite and more friendly with each other.
100%. Because like the people that I was talking to at Lowe's, like after that dude made a scene and everything, it was just like, how you doing? Like the one guy was wearing a tribe baseball cap, and I was just like talking to him about it and everything. And then I saw this lady come up and she had like one thing to return. So, whatever, like let her through, you know what I mean? Like people were being super cool. Like, so in that whole story, 1/6 of the people that I encountered was an asshole. The rest of them were great.
Yeah, absolutely. There's people that are a lot more helpful. There's a lot more polite. Everybody wants to hold the door for someone, or just being good to each other. And that's if there's any positive you could take from all of this, there are people that are being better to each other. Just being,
100%.
as we like to say, they're being good humans. And that's all we want to see right now. And that's what you got to be. I mean, we're all in this together. Like that's cliche and that's what everything says, but really,
it's true though.
We're all stuck doing the same shit. So, hey.
Well, and perspective is everything, right? And like, I see that there's this argument out there that like, oh, you're giving up your freedoms and this and that, and I'm like, dude, anyone that's saying that has never seen what it's really like to lose your freedoms.
Yeah, we haven't
been to some of these fucking countries. Like, I'm okay with having to wear a mask or staying a little bit or having to get my food to go versus sitting in there, like, because it is temporary. And like the ideology of it is, yes, we are giving up some of our freedoms, but it's not a law. It is let's do this. Let's not be a-holes. Let's get through this.
Yeah.
Like, I've been in countries where like you have no fucking rights. Like,
you have no rights. Like, we still have rights to go out. You can still go to the grocery store. You can still go get food. You can still go to the Lowe's.
Yeah.
You can still do these things. We're not being arrested for being in public.
Exactly. It is such a like clickbait type argument that it just really makes me mad, because I at least me, I have not seen one person that I know for sure has been in a situation where they've been in a country with no rights. And like, don't give me that argument. Yeah,
and you're right though, because I can appreciate that, and I to hear people say that kind of shit, it cracks me up. I'm like, dude, just this is you know what this is? This is an inconvenience.
Yep.
There are a lot of things that are going terribly wrong for businesses and things like that, but for you as like just a person who's living through this, it's an inconvenience, sure, but remember, it's temporary. And if you get through all of this, everything will go back to normal one day. But in the meantime, play ball and just get through it with everybody else. And no one's taking anything away from you.
You know what, though? Here's the reality. Even if it isn't temporary, let's just say that, like, for some crazy hypothetical reason, they can, like, the fucking murder hornets prevent us from being able to create a acceptable vaccine, right? And let's just say it's not temporary. We can figure out how to live like what we're doing now is the fucking dream of people in some of these countries that are run by dictators and everything else. Like, like, let's put it in a little bit of perspective. Like, yes, I love the freedoms and everything that we have.
We have a lot of them.
Let's be realistic about it. Like, nobody is putting a gun to your head and saying do this or do that, or like nobody is saying like you cannot say this, otherwise I'm going to throw you in jail with fucking 60 days of hard labor. You know what I mean? Like, there's just things that we have to keep in perspective. And yes, I understand that these could be construed as steps to losing some individual freedoms. But until that happens, I don't know. I just can't. I can't buy into the theory that this is what it's for. Like, no. You think these and if that's the argument that you want to make, do you think these politicians that are a couple months ago in bed with the oil companies and everything else, you think they're happy about gas being $1.30?
Yeah, you think that all of our oil
good for anyone?
Yeah, this is not helping anyone. Yeah, you think we're happy that our oil is worth nothing?
Right.
Like,
or the dollar is worth nothing. You're like, you know what I mean? Like, nobody's happy about what's going on.
No, yeah, exactly. Like, oh, the government's trying to do this. Like, no, they're not, because it's screwing up everything for us.
Yeah,
like,
we're just trying to do the right thing, get through it, and then we'll move on.
I just love watching it. Every day I see a new conspiracy theory, and it's unbelievable.
How about those murder hornets, though?
Yeah. Did you see the chainsaw? Did you see the chainsaw bears?
Yeah.
Have you seen the meme? It's
did
like,
you send that one, or did somebody else send it?
I think it was Parisi.
Yeah.
You see the one, it was like someone's Twitter or something like that. It says like these people uncovered like a burial ground for all these ancient Egyptians. Like, they have all these sarcophaguses or whatever, however you say that.
Sarcophagi, maybe.
But the one dude writes underneath, he's like, put that shit back, don't open it. He's like, this isn't the year.
That's awesome.
Last thing we need is some type of crazy Egyptian curses.
Yeah, right.
But the murder hornets, man, they're like chopping the honeybees, like
it's the
chopping their heads off and stuff.
They're called murder hornets because they destroy the honeybee hives.
China.
Fucking China, man.
Dude, I'm telling you. I've seen some big ass bees. You remember those ones that used to be in my mom's backyard? The cicada killers.
Oh yeah.
But they're not. The only thing they're killing is cicadas.
I was so I was at the daycare the other day, and I have like the saw set up outside, and I was cutting some baseboards, and so I'm going out there and I'm making my measurements. So I'm going back and forth. So the door's open and everything. And this was, I think, Sunday. It was really nice out. And I'm sitting there using the saw, and this fucking giant bumblebee.
Yeah.
Like, just won't leave me alone. Like, went so much as like landed on my shirt, and I'm like, don't want to kill the bees. I'm like, get off me, And like, it's just one of those things. Like, I've got a saw in my hand that's whatever. And I'm like, come on, get off me. I'm trying to pay attention to what I'm doing.
Because those bumblebees, they're getting the pollen and everything too, so you don't want to kill them.
Right, you don't want to kill them.
I'll be honest, I did kill one the other day. They are burrowing in my steps into my house. I know. And one kept flying around. We were on the patio and kept flying around me. It's like flying around Sam. And for some reason, I don't know where this came from, Sam is like deathly afraid of bugs all of a sudden.
Really?
I don't know why. But I keep telling him, like, dude, if you don't bother them, they're not going to bother you.
Right.
But the bumblebees, they won't do anything to you. They're just aggressive. Like, they like to fly in your face and like just try to intimidate you. So the one's flying around him. He's on the stairs, like, freaking out. So I just grabbed my hat and I just swatted this thing and killed it. And I did feel really bad about it.
When Mark Wahlberg is looking like this, I'm blaming you.
That look. Oh my God, it's coming!
You ever see the honest trailers of that?
Yes.
One? I think we talked about it actually on an episode.
Oh, that is the best honest trailer of all time. Because it's so the acting, just everything that goes on in that movie.
So bad.
Biggest waste of money.
Dude, that's another thing. is we are big movie buffs, especially with the like summer
Marvel.
blockbusters. What do you think is going to happen with that? You think they're going to open theaters up?
I think they.
I mean, that seems
I
like
think that,
something that you could control and like kind of say, all right, here's how to do it smart.
yeah, I think they'll probably split up seating.
Yeah.
Probably. I think now with the way that the theaters are set up, like this one here by me, they're all those recliners now. So you're pretty much like each row is separated enough. So I think like maybe they'll just block off sections like every other seat or something like that. So they'll probably have like half the capacity.
Right.
But I think they'll probably open them up.
There's supposed to be some decent movies coming out this year.
I know. I think the new Black Widow movie was coming out this summer. So I mean, the thing that's crazy is like they're postponing like movies coming out, and then you think about like all the actors that are working on certain movies that are like postponed, and then what that's going to do to future movies, how they're going to get pushed back even further because they're not going to be available to do those movies. So it's a whole. Every industry is affected by it. It's crazy, man. And we love our movies.
We do love our
And I'm
movies.
running out of shit to watch.
Dude, I'll be honest. I haven't watched much since we've been.
I've watched a few things, and I started Project Blue Book.
I don't even know.
On the History Channel. Oh, that's good, man.
You'll have to tell me about it.
I will. We'll talk about it.
I've been doing audiobooks.
Yeah.
While I've been working and stuff like that, I just throw headphones in, and I've been listening to some novels. Pretty solid.
It's a good way to go. I would do that at work sometimes, where I just pop a headphone in and just throughout the day just listen to it in the background.
Yeah.
So I do a podcast too, but
yeah.
But yeah, audiobooks is where it's at, man.
Yeah. We'll figure it out, right?
All right. Well, we're gonna survive.
All right, man. Well, yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a good idea for us.
It's been a little while.
It really has.
I think the last time we did just the two of us was the bourbon review, like the first week of this.
Yeah, it was right when, I mean, we hadn't even had like a stay-at-home order or whatever yet.
No, we just got our live event canceled.
Yep.
So we did our bourbon review.
Right.
Yeah, we did the Weller Antique 107.
Yep.
But yeah, since then, man, we haven't done. We just kind of. It's been a little while since we've done this, but one day we'll be able to get in the studio or your basement, and we'll get back to normal. I feel like very soon.
Yeah, for sure.
So, well,
right, yeah, I don't really have anything else. I just kind of wanted to chat and.
Yeah, it's nice, man.
Yeah.
Nice to hang out.
Yeah. We'll definitely start getting something together. Do the best we can.
That's all we can do.
All right, dude. If you haven't already, go ahead and visit us at www.thetalkingdads.com. Check out our shop, get some swag. And then also check us out on the podcast. So YouTube, definitely hit that subscribe and that bell. And then your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Check those feeds for shit that we're putting out. And yeah, I don't know. iTunes,
covered it.
Google, Stitcher, all that good shit.
All the good. You got it.
And hopefully we'll bring some fantastic guests in studio. We have a couple other Zoom meetings lined up, so that'll be fun.
Yep.
But yeah, till then, raise good humans.
That's the truth, my friend.
All right, bro.
Catch you next time.
Okay.
All right.
Hey guys, if you love what you just heard or watched, and we know you did, do us a solid and hit that thumbs up. Share with your friends and throw us a comment, literally about anything. Your support legit keeps us going. Oh, and don't forget to give us that 5-star rating. We really appreciate you.